Dawson Rider review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my retro review for the Defender Torozord from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, aka Bull Toros from Gingaman. This is the Japanese version, and before we get started, my full disclosure at the beginning, as I usually do with the retro reviews, talking about what I'm missing. I am missing the little swords that he comes with, as well as the stickers. Mine did not include the stickers, so if it's missing details that you notice, that's because it doesn't have the stickers. But honestly, I think it looks fine without it, and I hate things with stickers. Put them on for me. I'm not your maid. So like as usual, I'm usually missing stuff with retro reviews. Either it's because it just went missing over the years, or in this case, I just scored a good deal on it and I was happy to compromise not having stupid stickers for a decent price. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is kind of a unique Megazord because it's kind of a hybrid of the guy becomes big enough to become his own Megazord and its actual Zord itself. Because you have this guy who makes up the main mecha, but then this guy goes with inside it, but it's not really vital. I mean, it doesn't really affect the look of it or anything. But let's just talk about him real quick first. You know, it's actually a pretty nice little figure, and it's really heavy because it's die cast, which is kind of just a nice feeling to it. And it's a little bit blocky proportions. You know, it doesn't look quite like it does in the show, although it is a blockier armor. But it's not a terrible little figure. Definitely very 90s. I think the paint and stuff looks good. It's got a nice vibrant look to it. The chrome pieces here have kind of a nice look to it. They always kind of hit that like fence of it kind of looks cool, but also kind of cheap to it. There is some paint chipping going on a little bit, so I would be wary of that. Sometimes with these older ones, you can get it where the paint starts to chip away, which can be kind of annoying, so just be kind of careful with that, both in terms of when you're buying it and when you own one. It does have a little bit of articulation by nature of the transformation, like the leg can actually move in and out and bend, so you can get a little bit of posing action going on there, which is kind of nice. And the arms can only go in because of the transformation, and they come together, so they can't really do much else. They can bend, though. I feel like what he does in the mecha is so simple in terms of how he goes in there. Probably pretty easily could have given him some articulation on the arms and still had him transform. But it's fine. I think he's fine for what he is. You know, it's kind of neat, and I like the idea behind this mecha in general. But now let's talk about the main event himself in his regular default Zord Bull mode. I think it actually looks pretty good. Some of the older Zords can be hit and miss, but I think this one holds up pretty well. I generally just like the look of him. I'm kind of a sucker for the black gold color scheme on Zords. In fact, I might even end up displaying this in my black and gold Zord collection. That was kind of a tough one to say, just because I really like the look of it. And this has kind of always been a Zord that I kind of liked okay, but after having the toy, I really dig it. I think this is actually a really fun one, and I think it looks cool like this. I think the chrome finish on the gold here makes it look really nice. And then you have these chains here, which he can actually hold when he's riding on it. That's what, you know, a lot of Zords are like that, and I'll show that in a second, but it is metal as well, and they look really nice, and the fact that they're actually metal and not some sort of plastic also give a nice kind of premium feel to it. Like in general, the plastic also has a nice shine to it, and then you have the chrome here on the silver, and then the chrome here for this, and this is actually also die-cast metal. This isn't. You can tell this one looks a little bit less cheap, but in general, I think it just gives it a really nice look to it. I really dig it quite a bit. Like I said, you can actually have him riding it here, just kind of spread his legs out. Hold on, I'll zoom up in a second. But you kind of have him sitting here like so. Just don't get him there awkwardly. That's not how you sit on a toilet, Dawson, although this isn't a toilet, but still, the credits transfer. So you can see here I have his hands up, and then he can kind of hold it like this. I don't have him on there perfectly, but he thinks he's cool like this because he's like, look guys, I can ride my bull with one hand. You know how it is. That's pretty cool. I always like when you're able to do that. It just adds a little bit of variation to it, a different playability, different modes. So that's neat. But now let's show the main event. Now let's go ahead and prep this guy and just say go ahead a bunch of times. So it's super easy. You just put these away, fold these up, and then as I showed, they go together, which is actually kind of fun. I feel like, thanks to Bowflex, I became the Magna Defender. And then these, just fold this out and fold these back. Fold these out and fold these back. You might need to finagle it a little bit once we get him in there, but now he's ready. This guy's super easy. Now, this part's gonna go right here for the waist, and then this goes in like that. I mean, that's a little bit awkward. And then these are super simple. You just fold them down like this, like you normally would, and then you twist them, and it makes them a little bit longer, which is really cool, and probably one of my favorite things about the way this transforms. I really just dig that. It's really satisfying transforming it back and forth like that. But now he's ready to stand up. Now for this, we're just going to unhook it, which can be kind of difficult, so just be kind of careful because these don't seem that flimsy, but still, you have to put enough force sometimes where I'm just advising to be careful. And we're just going to reclasp them here on the back. Thanks, Pam. For his hands, just bring these down, and again, you're gonna twist it around town until his hands come out. And that's really cool. Again, I think that's really neat. I don't recall having anything like that before or after, and I think it's just really kind of fun, unique, and satisfying. Like, it's the simple things. I just think it's really neat. Now, you open them up here, and this slides forward, and then you can also slide this forward. It is possible to just slide one of them, mainly the first one, forward, but this just gives you a little bit extra clearance, so you can put them in here like this. And he just kind of slides in there, and then make sure it snaps back together, and make sure it's snapping over it. But see, it's not really crucial to it. And then fold it up, and there you have the head. And there you have the Defender Torozord. I think it's a really awesome Megazord. Like I said, I've always liked it okay, but for whatever reason, after having it in person now and actually having the toy after all these years, I really dig it a lot. The black gold color scheme I think looks nice. I think in general, the toy looks pretty nice. Like, I think it holds up well. Like, you usually have kind of a middle ground somewhere between blocky and close to the show, depending on which mecha you're getting. And while this isn't 100% like the show, it's actually a pretty decently proportioned mecha. Like, I don't feel it's way too blocky. I don't feel it's way too skinny. It would be cool if it had articulation and could move around and stuff like that. But I think it looks fairly close to the show, and it doesn't feel as dated as some previous releases, and I just generally like the design. And all the things I said about it in its bull mode, like the gold and stuff, really just looks nice and gives it this kind of premium feel to it, and I really dig it, and it probably looks even cooler with the little swords. I'm not too bummed I don't have them, just because it will take up a little bit space on the shelf if he's standing behind somebody and they're like sticking out like this, so it kind of just saves me from that. And also, that's pretty much the only articulation you have here is this. But yeah, it's overall a really cool mecha, and I dig the concept of this, of having, it was in the show I guess, of having like the Ranger becomes big and also combines with the Zord. And when I was little, I always kind of thought they didn't make the most of it though, since it's not really crucial to it. It's kind of nice, like if you really like the figure mode for this guy in here, then you can take him out and display both of them together and it's not crucial to it. But on the other hand, I kind of would have liked to seen a version where it's more crucial to it, just to see how they handle it. I would love to see this concept used in the future again, whether it's crucial to the aesthetics or not. But like I said, the nice thing is if you really like the figure inside here, you can display both since it's not crucial to the transformation, and then you can just get kind of a bad boy thrill out of it. You know, when someone sees your collection, you're like, psh, bet they don't even know Magna Defender's not in there. I'm so used to being the bad boy. Overall, I really dig this mecha. I think if you're a fan of Gingaman or Lost Galaxy and you like this mecha, it's definitely worth checking out. I think it holds up pretty well. I was even happier with it than I thought I was going to be, as you know, I just mainly wanted it to fill out my collection, and when I got it, I was pleasantly surprised by this retro mecha. Anyways, guys, that's about it for this one. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.